Hi, it's Steve with Coin Stuff I Like. Bringing you another video in the Peace Dollar video series. This is part 9, and we're going to talk about 1936. And you can see on the left of your screen, there's the 1935 Peace Dollar produced by the U.S. Mint, and we know that they didn't continue the series after 1935. But Dan Carr, Moonlight Mint, made this 1936. Why? But before we get into that, just a reminder that this is part of a series. I'm going to put the playlist for this series in the description of this video. We've covered everything that the U.S. Mint has produced and all the Dan Carr pieces from 1917 through 1933. And this time, we're going to talk about this 1936. So, why is that? Why did Dan make this 1936? We know that he made the 1917 through 1921, which all had the broken sword reverse. And this is because the peace dollar had its beginnings before it finally was created in 1921, and this covers that. I covered this in part 1 and part 2 of this series, so take a look at that particular video for the rationale for these fantasy pieces. And we just did part 8 in this series where we covered the gap between the 1928 and 1934 U.S. Mint issues, where Dan created these fantasy pieces that filled the gap for 1929, 1933. And these all had a high relief, standard 1921 type of reverse, 4 arrows below 1, high relief, no broken sword. So he had a good rationale for the 1917 through 1921, good rationale for these fantasy pieces to fill that gap. But what about this 1936? What about it? Why? Well, here is the reason. The first complete denomination proof set was issued in 1936. Now, there had been prior single denomination proofs and short proof sets of not all the denominations issued by the Mint, but this is the first time where they did a complete denomination. It really is the dawn of the modern era proof sets, and that's the key to that 1936 peace dollar. I'm not going to go into the 1936 proof set, but it's a pretty fascinating story, and I would highly recommend any one of these 3 articles. I'm going to put them in the description of this video. I'll put those links, but they're all great articles. One from John Milton at CoinTalk, Greg Reynolds at Graysheet, and Joshua McMorrow Hernandez at PCGS. Have a read. It's good learning as a collector of U.S. coinage. So what I will tell you is that they didn't make a lot of proofs, and the proof set couldn't have been more than 3,837, because the quarter individually that had a mintage of 3,837. So they couldn't construct complete mint sets more than 3,837, and more than likely less than that. You could buy them individually, or you could buy them as a complete set. So there are not many of those, and as you can imagine, they're quite expensive to obtain. And I mentioned John Milton's article in CoinTalk earlier, and this was a key paragraph in my mind. I mean, it was a great article, but it sort of ties into this video. Um, he said that the mint officials made it clear no proof silver dollars would be struck unless there was issue of business strike dollars. So they decided to discontinue the peace dollar series in 1935, which was very unfortunate. And as John Milton says, it would have been interesting to have the peace dollar in the proof format as part of this set. And that is exactly what Dan thought. So he created this 1936 peace dollar with a proof finish, or proof-like finish. He did this in March of 2022. It was overstruck on a genuine peace dollar from 1922 to 1935 era, and only minted 108. There's only 108 of these things. This one in my collection is got an MS-70 decam, and let's take a look at some video of this coin. Yeah, I think you'll agree that this is a pretty nice coin, and it's an incredible fantasy that there was the first complete denomination proof set created in 1936 by the U.S. Mint, and they did not have a peace dollar yet. The Dan Carr Moonlight Mint provided us with the opportunity to imagine a complete denomination set that included a peace dollar in proof condition or proof finish. So I'm very happy to have it, especially vintage 108 MS 70 decam. Yeah, it's quite the piece to have. Now, I'm not likely ever going to own a 1936 proof set from the U.S. Mint, but the reason I collect this is because I'm a peace dollar collector and a Dan Carr collector, and this is a great piece to add to my collection. And thank you for letting me share it with you. And remember, buy stuff you like, but be smart about what you buy. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.